What's good, everybody? All Ball Podcast here. I'm Josh, and this is Connor. Today we're going to be discussing the NBA All-Star Game and our pretenders and contenders at the NBA All-Star break.
Yeah, so first I say we go over some NBA All-Star Game topics because it just ended right now. So a couple little things. Sabonis, he won the skills challenge.
I didn't watch the skills challenge.
I watched a little bit of it, but I was doing other stuff today. But Sabonis beat Vucevic,
Luka,
and Luka, and Luka's
another casual.
Something random. And Luka's excuse, because who was it? JJ Barea Jalen Brunson tweeted out like come on Luka, or like what do you
really
do?
Luka or something like that.
And Luka's like I didn't warm up, like the nerves got to me. Obviously he was.
But there's no way that he didn't Okay,
I thought Luka should have won that.
It doesn't matter, but Luka's the best shooter there, the best passer there.
I wouldn't say he's the best shooter. He's not that great of a 3-point shooter.
Sabonis is a better 3-point shooter?
They're close.
Okay, but passer by a mile.
Yeah.
So he should have hit the... I don't know if he hit the pass first try. Sounds like
regardless, that was Luka's thing to win, even though obviously, like you said, such a pointless thing to win.
Dub.
It's so useless. Regardless, we'll go into that. Curry though, in the next contest over, the 3-point contest, he set a new record, but obviously it's with the new rules. I think they did it last year too, but obviously we're going to be setting a lot of records because they're adding more and more points that you're allowed to hit. Now they have that deep three where you can hit 3 more points. I think Curry hit one of those. Yeah. Mike Conley, he replaced Devin Booker for the All-Star game, but he also replaced him for the 3-point contest. At first, I think I called you. I might not have called you. I thought that was stupid because maybe for the All-Star, but he's not a great 3-point shooter. But he ended up being
second place,
a great 3-point shooter out of nowhere.
He got hot from one of the wings. I think he hit the whole rack.
He might have. I think he had 27. Curry had 31.
Curry had 28.
Oh, Curry had 31 in the first one, 28 in the second one.
He had 26 with the bonus ball, or he had 25 with one ball and a bonus ball, and he hit both.
Oh, yeah, and he needed both, huh?
Yeah.
And he could have missed the ball for the tie.
Yeah, he could have missed the regular ball.
Yeah, I guess Mike Conley, maybe he proved me... Well, he proved me wrong, kinda, but we'll get into why he's... we'll get into why he's weird.
Why he's weird?
Before you get into this one, I want to talk about the NBA dunk contest today.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
Did you watch the NBA dunk contest today?
I did watch it.
I hope you guys didn't watch the NBA dunk contest today. For one, the judging. The judging was so bad. They were giving out 49s for dunks that shouldn't have been 49s. They gave out a 44 for Cassius Stanley, and his dunk was not a 44. Anthony Simons had... In your words, the
most light-skinned dunk ever.
Yeah, he went up to kiss. He went up to kiss the rim. It was a bad dunk contest, but what can you expect? All the super dunkers, they all turned it down.
Yeah, so no one wants to participate this year.
No one wants to do it. But what can you expect? It's a fucking halftime dunk contest. You can't expect the great dunkers to
want to participate in a 2-round thing.
Yeah. But
Anthony Simons won. Gotta mention that.
Anthony Simons won. Cassius Stanley got robbed, and so he gave up. I'd like to say that. Because when he got 44 and saw how much higher the numbers the other guys got, he ended up just doing a in-game dunk for his second dunk, and he got a 34, I think.
Well, that's because he missed out on the
He missed the below the legs. But I guess we could get into this next one.
Yeah. So
I'm at a couple more, by the way.
Add a couple more. All right.
Yeah.
In the first quarter, I think it was who were the commentators?
I'm gonna be honest. I was talking to family and friends. I was not listening. I was not listening to the NBA All-Star commentators.
One of the commentators. I want to say it was Reggie Miller. I don't know.
Oh, I definitely heard Reggie Miller talking.
Okay, I think it was Reggie Miller. He said before the game, I can't wait to see Zion show out, he's my player to watch. And then in the first quarter, he missed 4 dunks.
Zion pooped his pants.
He made 3 the rest of the game, but
no, he made a few more than that.
For Zion to miss
He had 10. Yeah, he dunked a little bit after that.
For Zion to miss like 3 or 4 straight dunks, it was like,
We were like, what? Why? Who gave him an all-star appearance? It was so bad.
yeah.
This next one, Dame and Stephen Curry were hitting some crazy shots. Curry had a case for All-Star Game MVP, but if you're watching the game, Giannis obviously deserved it, but we'll get to that. But I don't know if it was, might not have been back-to-back. Curry hit a half-court three. Dame hit a half-court three. Curry was shooting crazy, dumb three-point shots. Dame hit the game winner.
Yeah, Curry shot one from the corner. Literally, the second it left his hand, he turned around and made it.
Yeah.
The second, like he didn't even wait for like
To see if the
confirmation that it
trajectory was
going in.
right,
Like, he
yeah.
literally shot it, turned around, and went.
And then, yeah, obviously Dame hit the game winner for 170 from half court. They were having some fun. They looked like the All-Star game. There were a few. Let me name some players that didn't look like it was the All-Star. I'm not gonna name that one because he fucking barely played. You can say LeBron, but Domantas Sabonis played 18 minutes and had a grand total of 1 shot made. Mike Conley played 12 minutes, had 1 3-pointer made.
Vucevic was like
He was just,
1
I
for
feel like
6 from 3.
I feel like he was just not trying. Like
He was 1 for
he was
6
taking
from 3.
shots, but like there was no effort forth. And Julius Randle, he was getting torched on defense. Then again, it's an all-star game. Obviously, you're not playing defense like that, but I feel like I saw maybe 45 points all scored on Julius Randle.
45 points.
And then he retaliated with 4 points of his own.
4, 2, and 2.
Obviously, there were some standout players, not many from the East, from Durant's team. But Giannis didn't miss a single shot. 2 bank shots. I think he shot 16? 16 for 16.
He had 2 banks and
2 bank
one,
3-pointers.
1 double step back from the corner. And when he made it, he started jumping around with Jokic and was like, oh.
I remember might have been right after halftime or like before the third quarter. But they were getting on Giannis, and he's like, what do you want me to do? I've been jumping all game. I jump. What do you want me to do? But like in his Greek accent.
I jump.
It sounded so stupid. Like it sounded hilarious coming up from him. I was like, bro, that's like you're the one. Like you have the ball and you're dunking it.
Yeah.
Like no one's telling you to dunk.
I jump.
I can't be jumping, but I got 26. Jump every play. Every play I jump.
Wait, go back.
My bad.
Chris Paul had 16 assists.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. Chris Paul had 16 assists and a dunk.
He did have a dunk. The guards were dunking today.
Yeah, Kyrie,
Steph
Steph
caught a lob.
and Chris Paul. And Chris Paul's just like, he's an old man. Like,
Obviously,
what do you
the
expect?
boy's like 63.
But it was definitely fun to watch. The guards were dunking and Giannis was shooting threes.
Bro, I told you when you got here, I said I just want to see Jokic shoot like a logo shot.
Yeah, unfortunately we didn't get that.
6 points, kind of disappointing for him. But I mean,
Like it's disappointing, but again,
he's not flashy though. That's the thing.
again, it's an all-star game. Like
Yeah.
these guys aren't putting their heart and soul into this game except Giannis.
Giannis.
But it was fun to watch.
It was alright.
It was entertaining. But like if you watched last year's,
Wish it was closer.
yeah, if you watched last year's was competitive. It went down to a game-winning free throw. This year, Team LeBron won by 20 points.
Yeah, 170 to 150.
So hopefully next year we get. But then again, like Team Durant didn't have Devin Booker or Joel Embiid, so maybe there's a change. Like maybe there's more competition when that comes to it. Instead, they had Mike Conley, Julius Randle, Vucevic. Like that's not really a well drafted team. Hopefully next year, and Zion who shit the bed. Hopefully next year we get a little bit more competition in the game.
A little more balanced teams.
But then again, like it was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
Is that?
That's it. That's the All-Star game.
That's it for the All-Star game. Time to get into our
Contenders and pretenders.
contenders and pretenders. I'll move mine over here. I don't want you to see mine.
Just want to say this was my idea.
This was Josh's ideas.
He said, let's do contenders. And I said, let's do contenders and pretenders.
So, tell me how many you have of each, because I remember you told me earlier.
I have 6 and
6 what?
6 contenders and 3 pretenders.
So Josh has 9 total teams. 6 contenders, 3 pretenders. I have 4 contenders, 4 pretenders.
Okay.
So you have 6 contenders?
Yeah.
Give me your worst contender. Because we put them in order, too, of, like, worst to
My
best.
worst contender is my team.
Okay.
My worst
I have
contender.
Celtics, too. They're my lowest contender. Because, and let's talk about it for a little bit, because I know that some people are going to disagree with that. Some people don't think that the Celtics have a chance winning the chip this year.
They do, though, because
I do.
once Marcus Smart comes back and that team starts playing games together, then they're going to be just fine.
I think that a lot, and I'm going to say maybe 80%, of how the East playoffs is going to go is based on matchups. Because a lot of the East is like, they're all around the same level, but the matchups put them one team over another or one team below another.
Yep.
The Celtics, I think match up good with some teams, match up bad with other teams.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie. I think the Celtics could make the finals, and depending on who makes it from the West, they could win. But, like, let's say you guys play the Sixers.
I'm cool with that.
Nobody's guarding Embiid.
I'm cool with that, though.
But I don't think you're winning that series. I'm very sorry. I don't think you're winning that series.
We own them, though. I'm cool with that.
You have owned them in past years.
I want to play them, Connor.
But
I want to play them.
That's because Marcus Smart always gets under his skin and stuff. I think, and you know, Embiid this year is on something else.
No, I understand Embiid's taking another level.
Ben Simmons
And
has
they got
taken
some-
his defense to another
They got
level.
some outside guys, which is cool.
I think this
But
year.
you said that
I don't think you
that
guys are
Ben
beating the
Simmons
Sixers.
has upped his defense. Jalen Brown has risen.
No,
rose.
The
risen.
Celtics
Rose
and
did.
the Celtics and the Sixers have definitely both gotten better, but I still think that the Sixers matchup is probably your worst in the East. Because in the
I would
East,
love to see that.
in the East, let's say you have Bucks, Nets, Sixers. Those are the teams that you're competing with. I think that the Sixers are your worst matchup.
Probably, but I still would. Would like to see.
But
that.
I'm glad we both think that they're contenders because Celtics really do have a chance to win. They
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah.
Now give me your worst pretender.
My worst pretender.
Yeah. Like the lowest pretender.
The
Tell me.
Suns.
You know, sometimes I'm really mad at Josh for not knowing basketball. But I'm proud of you today.
Suns.
The Suns are the worst pretenders. Because, and the reason, some people are going to say that they shouldn't
Let me
even be
change this
in
real
this.
quick.
But, okay, go for it. They really are. They're the second best team in the whole league right now. And obviously there's not many Suns fans, but like if you follow this guy on any social media,
He's a Suns fan.
he thinks the Suns are winning the championship or something.
No, I don't think he actually thinks that.
I think the Suns are a decently competitive team, and I think that they might even go on a good run in the playoffs. But I don't think they have a shot at winning.
I just don't think they have enough.
I don't. And I love that they're the second seed, like because they haven't had a good record since probably Steve Nash. But I think a lot of it is just they're beating teams. They're beating a lot of regular season teams.
They're playing good. They're playing good.
And I
but
don't
think they're gonna last.
They're
in the
not a better
playoffs.
team. They're not a better team in the playoffs.
Is that your worst?
I
pretender?
don't see it.
Is that
Yeah,
your worst?
that's my worst pretender.
Okay.
But then again, we have seen crazy upsets before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say now, I wouldn't be surprised if they if they had a good run in the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised.
Like,
I just don't think that
Okay.
they have a chance winning the chip.
so let's say they play like a 7 seed, right?
Yeah,
Or a 6
7 or 6.
Mavericks.
That's
Nuggets.
bad for them.
Nuggets.
Nuggets.
That's
They
bad
they
for
could
them.
they could be a first round loss, and then after that, let's say they play a 1 through 4 seed. That's Lakers, Jazz, Clippers. That's bad for them too.
That's really bad.
So, then again, I could see them beating those teams. It's just going to be very hard for me
Yeah.
to see them.
I'll just need a miracle. I need Bridges to play insane defense on the best
Bridges to
player.
play insane defense. Chris Paul stay healthy. Devin Booker be the best player on a championship team.
Ayton needs to step up.
Ayton. He
Jay
needs
Crowder needs at least 15 a game. At least.
not 15. If all of those things actually, fuck, they might need a fourth piece. But Ayton cannot be spotty because he has games where he's good, but he also has games where he doesn't show up. He needs to be consistent. But I don't want to talk too much about the Suns because I think everybody knows that they're not. Give me you have what, 6 and 3?
Yeah.
Give me your second best contender.
Second-
Second worst, I mean. Like, one up.
This is the team you don't have, and I know it. I know
Because
you don't have this
Josh
team.
told me earlier that there was a team on his that I wouldn't have.
I know you don't have the Miami Heat.
I don't. They're not even one of my pretenders. They're not on my radar.
I know.
They're not.
But
I
when
don't-
when this team is healthy, they're dangerous.
They are.
Since Jimmy Butler's came back, they won 8 of their last 9 games, and they're right back in
That's a
it.
stat I don't know
They're right
about.
back in it.
That's a stat I don't know about.
They are right back.
I
in
might
the
have to
mix.
throw them on my pretenders list. I don't think they're making the finals this year.
I don't know.
Because they're one of the teams that isn't very affected by matchups.
Yeah.
They're a team that's just all around good.
I know. That's
That's
why.
a good pick.
That's why.
That's a good pick.
That's
a
why
good
they're
pick. That's a good
low-key
pick. That's
a
a good
contender.
pick. That's such a good pick.
And I put them slightly above us just because I've seen them play fully healthy. I haven't seen us play fully healthy.
The Miami Heat is such an underrated pick.
They're even right now.
And they were underrated last year, too.
They're even right now, but don't be surprised if you see them
Do another one of those 6
do
seed
another
shits.
one of those. Because if they play the Bucks,
No, I'll give it to you. You
they
got
play
me.
the Bucks again.
You got me.
They play the Bucks again. That's trouble for the Bucks.
They win. They don't. They're not affected by matchups.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not. I'll give that one to you. Do you want to hear mine?
Mm-hmm.
My second worst pretender is the Clippers.
Okay, that's my next worst contender.
That because Clippers are good. They've never ever made it past the second round in the whole franchise, and they've had plenty of great teams. Basically, I just can't predict that they're going to do anything different until I see it. I would not be surprised if they made it past the second round. Let me say that. I do think that they are a contender. I think they could win the championship.
Because I think Kawhi's not going to let that shit happen again.
And I hope
he's
Paul
gonna-
George looks like he's back, but we say that every single year.
Yeah, he always has a little run.
But the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. The Clippers have been doing the same thing over and over again for years. It would be insane of me to expect a different outcome.
But they're still on my contenders
They
list.
still are on my contenders list.
You have to.
There's too many good players on that team. That team is too well constructed for you to not say they have a chance to win the championship.
Yeah.
Give me your next worst pretender.
Milwaukee Bucks. I'm sorry, I don't believe in them.
They are on my pretenders list. They're higher up. Let's talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. I think that's a very... Oh, but you only have 3 pretenders, huh?
Yeah. I only have one more pretender on there.
Okay, well, let's talk about the Bucks for now.
So inconsistent.
I think the Bucks are pretenders too. They could be the greatest regular season team of all time. They could go for 74 wins. I don't think that they're ever winning a championship. Unless, now, I've been saying this plenty of times. I'm sure you've heard me say this plenty of times this year. Giannis is trying to be the guy that they need to win the championship.
He's trying to extend his bag.
Past years, Giannis has been nothing but a running and dunking guy. Teams can game plan that. Playoff teams game plan that. When you sit down and you're
See
playing,
what the Heat did to them.
when
last
you
year.
sit down and you play the same team 7 times in a row in a 7-game series, you don't need to worry about anything except stopping Giannis.
Yeah.
And they've done that before. You guys have done that before. The Heat did that last year. It's just like, but if you watched games this year, it hurts to see him do it. It hurts to see them down by 5 and him shoot a step back 3. It hurts to see that because you know he's not going to make it. But in the long run,
he's got to make it.
he has to practice it in game. He has to.
Okay, a team will never win a championship when their best player
Is game plannable.
Is a
Dimensional player.
one-dimensional player.
You can't win a championship like that.
And if you do, you have to have lights out shooting every game.
You have
to shoot above 50%
It has to be a
from
crazy
three.
series.
You have to shoot above 50% from 3 every game.
So
Every single game.
obviously our list right now is our contenders and pretenders coming out of the All-Star break. I would not, or my mind could change on the Bucks.
Yeah, if they show a little bit more consistency.
If they
with
show a
their
little more
shooting,
consistency and Giannis proves that he could hit those shots,
yeah,
then
then
I'll
maybe
give
they'll move
Giannis-
on. Maybe they'll move on.
league average is 36% from 3. That's league average. Or at least it was a couple years ago. I'm sure it might have gone up. Giannis, if Giannis can shoot 36% from 3 and get a decent mid-range bag, like what is he shooting from 3 right now?
28.
28%. If he could get that up by 8% and add a little bit of mid-range bag, I think they might
I was
be
gonna say,
contenders.
look at his last game. He went 3 for 3 and 16 for 16 from the field.
That was the fucking All-Star game?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Bucks might move up on my list. I will tell you, or it depends. Do you want to hear it or not?
Your last pretender?
No, my second to last pretender.
What?
Because I have 4 pretenders.
Okay.
My second worst, as in the one right above the Suns, is the Utah Jazz.
Utah Jazz.
I have them below the Milwaukee Bucks because I think the Bucks are a better team than the Jazz. And that's very bold of me to say because the Bucks are 22-14, the Jazz are 27-9. That being said, I think the Bucks are better than the Jazz. I think if you threw a playoff series, Bucks versus Jazz, I got the Bucks winning, regardless of Rudy Gobert clogging up that paint.
Okay.
And obviously that's not going to happen because that means the Jazz and the Bucks need to make the finals. But I'm saying hypothetically, if that was a playoff series,
I know I can't change your mind.
you can't change my mind.
Because I know.
Well, you might be able to, but I not on the Jazz. I doubt you're going to change my Jazz.
I doubt it because I know you're not mind changeable. You're just not.
No, sometimes I am.
So
You've changed my mind before.
I mentioned the Bucks' inconsistency from three, right?
Mm-hmm. Jazz this year have been very consistent from three.
Are consistent from three.
Well, this year at least. Because I know in past, I'm not actually sure how they've been in past years, but this year they are shooting crazy. You're right. You're right.
That's why I have them on my contenders because they've shown they can hit shots consistently in games, and that's what teams need.
You're right.
You got to be able to shoot the three ball, and they shoot it at a good percentage.
But at the same time, it still is regular season. There's been stretches of like Bucks like last year before that where they've been shooting lights out, and that didn't happen in the playoffs.
And they got a guy too. They got Donovan Mitchell as a closer.
Donovan Mitchell as a closer. You can say he's a closer, but he wasn't enough to put them over the Nuggets last year.
He was insane last year.
But he wasn't enough. He wasn't better than Jamal Murray.
He was insane last year.
He wasn't better than Jamal Murray.
He was insane.
No, I'll give it to you. He was crazy. He was the second best player in that. Third best player. Second best. I'll put him over Jokic because he was going wild. He's the second best player in that series. You're right.
He was so insane last year. He's shown that he can close games. I know he didn't close out the series.
But it wasn't enough to beat the Nuggets. I don't think it's going to be enough to beat. Let me know. Jazz are my pretenders. Are Jazz on your contenders?
Yeah, that's why I said. I have them right above the
So that means that contenders means that they could win a championship.
Yeah, and I think they can with the rate that they shoot the three ball. And with the defensive player of the year and with Donovan Mitchell.
I have a hard time seeing the Jazz beat the Lakers.
I don't think that's why they're not first. They're third.
But contenders means they have a chance. I don't think they have a chance. I don't think they do. I can't see the Jazz in the finals. I can't do it. I can't picture it. I can't picture it. I could picture the Heat in the finals more than I could picture the Jazz in the finals.
I could picture the Jazz in the final one.
I can't.
It's just...
By the way, we're not going to talk about it again, but Bucks are my team right above the Jazz.
They have to be there. They have to.
No.
Defensive player of the year, Gobert.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan Mitchell.
Closing.
Shooting consistently from three. Best six man of the year. Like, they have to be on there. They just have to for me. They have to.
I'm going to play the clip right now. But... Do you remember that Stephen A. Smith clip?
We don't care. That one?
No. That's a good one, too. When Max Kellerman was saying, like, this and this and this and this. And he's like, I agree with you, but I'm not sold. Like, what you're saying is 100% right. But it's in my head. Look, I'm going to try right now. I'm trying really hard. I can't see the Jazz making the finals. I can't. And I can't see them winning the finals either. I can't do it. It just doesn't seem right in my heart. Like, sometimes my mind tells me no, but my body tells me yes. Like, in my heart, it's telling me no. It's telling me no, Josh. I'm sorry.
Six man of the year.
Josh.
Donovan Mitchell, who can close games, can do everything on the court. Consistent from three. Rudy Gobert, 2-time, 3-time, 5-time, 70-time defensive player of the year.
2-time. Yeah, but how many points did he have in the All-Star game?
Like 9, probably.
He had fucking 10 points. You're a bot.
10, 7, and 1.
No, Josh.
So the Jazz are next on my list for contender. They're third.
Contenders? Ooh. So obviously we've talked about them too then. I can't see it. I can't see it. I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. Where do you think they'll get this year in the playoffs? Not like where do you think they could get? Where do you think they will get?
Right before the
You think they're making the conference?
Right before the semis.
Okay, so right before the semis is the first round.
What do you mean?
So there's 4 rounds. There's round 1, semis, conference, finals. There's 4 rounds. There's round 1,
Round 1.
round 2, which is the semis, round 3, which is the conference finals, round 4, which is the finals. So if you think they're going to go out right before the semis, that means they're going to lose in the very first round.
No, I meant.
Probably the semis.
I think they'll make it to the second round.
Okay, so the semis.
Because they'll have to play like a 4 seed, and I don't know if.
You think they're going to lose in the
Clippers.
conference
I don't know. I just
semifinals?
I don't know. What do you think?
So you think they're a round 2 exit? I can see them being a round 2 exit. I don't think
But
teams.
I think they're a contender because of what.
I don't think
because
teams
of the
that-
facts that I've said.
I don't think teams
I
that
don't
are
know
in
if they're
this.
going to perform like how I said, but
I don't think teams that lose in the second round are contenders.
what?
I don't think teams.
There's been plenty.
I don't think teams that could lose in the second round are contenders. I'm sorry. Last year, you could say the Clippers were contenders. They lost in the second round. They didn't perform enough to be contenders. The Nuggets were more of contenders than the Clippers last year. That's just a last year example. And I think that kind of
But
sets it
think-
up right for me because
I think if they do the things that I said, though, I think they can make it to the conference finals. I think.
I can't see them in the conference finals either. I think they're round 2 exit as well. And unknowingly, I think I set this up in my head like exactly how I explained it. Because I have 2 contenders from the East and 2 contenders from the West, and that is my prediction for the Eastern and Western Conference Finals.
Who is it? Nets,
I think you know my next 2
Celtics,
contenders.
Lakers,
Next, Celtics, Lakers, Clippers.
Clippers.
I think Lakers and Clippers will be the conference finals this year. That's my prediction.
See, but the Jazz don't match up good against the
Clippers, they don't.
That's
I
why-
honestly don't even think the Jazz match up that well against the Lakers. We have Schroeder, a good defensive guard. We have Wesley Matthews, a good defensive guard.
I don't want to hear Wesley Matthews.
Okay. We have Schroeder, a good defensive guard. KCP, a good defensive guard. Alex Caruso, a decent defensive guard. That's going to be the rotation we run on Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley.
Ah, shit.
Rudy Gobert is not an interior threat on defense. I mean, on defense for us, on offense for them. I think we could knock out the Jazz maybe in 6 games, maybe even 5. Could be a sweep if we're playing our best game.
Yeah, I'll probably have to switch the Jazz and Clippers. I still think the Jazz are contenders, but
Clippers
I'll
do
switch that.
seem better, huh?
Because just the matchup. The matchup is just it's too much. It's just too much.
And then my
Like if Gobert was a true threat inside and he
But
could
he's
fuck up
not.
Zubac, then
I
maybe.
100 if Rudy Gobert was even a interior presence, because all he does basically is catch lobs and do offensive rebound dunks.
Yeah.
That's all he does. If he even had a post move, if he had 3 post moves in his bag, if he had a shimmy,
Hook.
a hook, and a post
Drop
spin,
step.
or a drop step, I might give the Jazz a contender, but they don't have that.
Yeah, no.
Jordan Clarkson is going to need to average 27 in the playoffs for them to be contenders.
I still think they're contenders, but
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
they
they're
are.
better than the Clippers.
Yeah, I think the Clips. I think that works out good. And then my East predictions for the conference finals are Nets Celtics. That is my prediction.
So that must mean that me and you both have the 76ers as pretenders.
Those are my last pretenders.
76ers. AJ, that's right.
AJ. I'm sorry.
Same thing as the Bucks, man. I
Same-
just can't.
Same thing as the Bucks, and
Can't see it with the shooting.
again about the insanity thing. I've seen the Sixers get knocked out in the playoffs every year that they've been competitive.
Early too.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The last time they made the finals was Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
Is that accurate?
That's probably the last time they even made the conference finals.
Yeah, probably. That's probably the last time they made the playoffs.
It's gonna sound biased
It's
to me because
insane to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different outcome. I'm not going to think that the Sixers are anything special
like Seth Curry.
until they prove it.
Seth Curry has been phenomenal this year.
But
I don't think he's keeping.
I don't think he's keeping it up, at least in the playoffs. I think he's going to be good in the playoffs. I don't think he's going to be bad.
Danny Green's been okay. You seen what he did in the playoffs last year.
Last year, he almost lost us the finals.
He lost you one game. He didn't even
Last
lose you
year-
one game. It's because
LeBron made the right choice.
no, he made the right choice.
He hit
yes.
a knockdown 3-point shooter for a fucking. Imagine shooting imagine shooting your shot short for the game winner. Short. If anything, shoot it over. Short.
Shoot it over the backboard. Fuck.
Short. Oh my god. And
Yeah,
Danny Green.
unfortunately, the Sixers are still a pretender for me. I gotta see it to believe it.
I have to see it to believe it. Same thing with the Bucks, and I think the Clippers have a little bit of an edge, just because Kawhi's one of the best players in the league, Paul George one of the best guards in the league, and their team is so well constructed. Maybe if the Sixers were better constructed, but their two best players don't even play good together. Their two best players don't even complement each other. Let me go down the line and see. I'm going to tell you what the Sixers need. So LeBron and Anthony Davis work well together. LeBron likes to pass. Anthony Davis likes to dunk. Nets. Kyrie, Harden, KD. At first, people were doubting it. I was on the hype train a little bit. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers. Kawhi, Paul George. That's a forward that can score and a guard that can score. Both lockdown defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Celtics. Need I like a guard that can score, a forward that can score. Depending, could be two forwards that could score in their ideal lineup. They have a great defensive guard, and they have Kemba Walker who can dish it a little bit and can score a little bit when he's on.
I'll say in my case, a lockdown forward in Jimmy Butler.
Oh, for the Heat.
And guards that can flat out shoot.
Mm-hmm. Like crazy. And Bam Adebayo, who's basically a jack of all trades. He can shoot a little bit. He can play defense a little bit. He can score a little bit. He can rebound a little bit. He can do everything. Mm-hmm. Some things better than others, obviously. And then you get to the Sixers. Ben Simmons likes to be in the paint. Embiid likes to be in the paint. What I'll give you is
Embiid has been shooting a lot more this year.
What I'll give you is Embiid is scoring a lot more, and they're both lockdowns. But Seth is a knockdown three-point shooter. Tobias Harris is a good scorer, not a knockdown three-point shooter. Matisse Thybulle, great defender, wouldn't call him a knockdown three-point shooter. Their team's just not constructed very well. They have great talent.
They just gotta mesh.
But they don't mesh. But my logic kind of is at flaw a little bit with the Jazz. The Jazz are going to be one of my hardest cases to pick. Because the Jazz are constructed well, they're doing great, and they're playing like championship caliber team. But I can't see them winning the championship. I don't know what's wrong.
Hold on. I'm thinking, right?
Or are you going to try to change my mind?
No. I'm thinking, right?
I genuinely want you to change my mind.
Who can knock out the Sixers in the first round?
Who's the 8 seed right now?
No,
Raptors, I don't see them.
What do you think about this? Miles Turner?
We have to wait and see. Did you see the quote?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Miles Turner, they asked Miles Turner how he felt about going against like Joel. I'm going to try to look it up.
The Pacers are a team that I feel can do something.
They asked Miles Turner how he felt about going up against Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid's been on a tear and he's one of the Defensive Player of the Year candidates. And he said something like I believe in my defense or something, or if I play how I always play. Are you guys going to show Miles Turner?
That's the matchup that I've dominated?
That's what Embiid said. Turner is a great defender. Why do they not have Turner's quote? That's so annoying. Basically, they asked Turner how he felt, and he said like he was ready for that matchup. And then they asked Joel Embiid how he felt about him saying that, and Joel Embiid said, "I say this respectfully, but that's a matchup I've dominated since I got to the league." So what you were thinking, Pacers beating the Sixers in the first round, it's not a bad matchup, especially if Karis LeVert comes back. By the time in playoffs, he might. It's not that far to the playoffs, so he might not. So that's going to be hard because they have no guard play. Or no good guard play. They have Malcolm Brogdon. And I don't know if he could carry them past the Sixers.
Bonus.
Yep, that's great guard play. That's great guard play.
I feel like that's an underdog team that can knock out the Sixers.
Oh, okay. Turner said, if I am who I think I am, I'm going to step up to the challenge. That's what he said.
But I just thought that I would say that
you know what
this is a team.
You know what I'd want to see?
Knock them out.
You know what I'd want to see, which we might not see? Okay, the Nets and the Sixers are not too far off. I want to see the Nets move up one, the Heat move down one. Heat are knocking out the Sixers in the very first round. That could happen.
The Heat aren't moving down; they're moving up one.
Some of these teams need to move up one. So, Hornets need to get the fuck out of the playoffs. But for who? For the Pacers.
They're gonna have a playing game anyway.
There's gonna be such a bad. East is gonna be so bad this year. Knicks are in the playoffs. Hornets are in the playoffs. Raptors are in the playoffs as of now. Bulls and Pacers qualify for the playing game. Such a bad conference.
Yeah, and then our last two contenders, Lakers, Nets. Come on now.
No one needs.
no
those are the
explanation.
favorites in both conferences.
There's no explanation needed for that.
But let's talk about them for a little bit because I feel like since they're doing so good, we don't talk about them much. We talk about the Nets.
There's nothing to talk about.
There is.
They're dominating.
There definitely is. The Lakers went on a 4-game losing streak without Schroeder. Came back with Schroeder.
They look okay without AD.
Hypothetically, if I was 21 and I could make bets, I would make bets. So hypothetically, if I was 21 today, I would have made some dumb bets today. Because I'm not too confident in the Lakers winning the championship. I'm a Lakers fan. I think the Lakers are the favorites. But something inside me tells me Anthony Davis is going to get hurt. I don't think he's going to be healthy for the playoffs. For the finals.
It is very possible.
And at the same time, the Nets, it looks good, but there's teams like the Wizards who, in a good game from both sides, the Wizards won. Because all you need to do is outscore the Nets, which I say all you need to do. That's definitely a hard task to do, but it's doable. You can outscore the Nets. And we were talking about with your uncle, this year could be the weirdest finals year in a long time. Because although the Lakers are the favorites, the Nets are the favorites. If those aren't your favorites, you're kind of weird. Like, I don't think you watch basketball that much, but that's cool. But this year, the finals could be so weird. The finals could be like what he said.
Heat Jazz.
What he said was Heat Jazz, or he said Sixers Jazz, I think. Like, that could be a finals matchup this year. 2021, it could be Jazz and Bucks. Like, that's just what it could be. But, like, I don't know. Do the favorites make it this year? The favorites, Lakers were the favorites last year. They made it. Who were the favorites in the East last year?
The Bucks.
I feel like it was the Bucks, but it should be the Bucks this year again, but it's just not because they've been the favorites the last 2 years. Because they had the MVP. And they just couldn't put it together.
Who was the Bucks last year?
Nets, Lakers, man. Do you think the Nets and Lakers are going to make the finals? They should. But like I said, all you need to do is outscore the Nets. It's happened. The Wizards did it.
Twice.
The Wizards did it twice.
I don't know, man.
And if so, if the Nets win the chip, who do you think's finals MVP?
KD.
Harden could win finals MVP.
Yeah, because he'll drop triple-double like every game.
Kyrie, if he went off, could win finals MVP.
Nah.
It takes one 45-point game from Kyrie to win finals MVP. Because he's averaging like 30 right now.
It takes one 30-point triple-double for James Harden to get MVP. And he's going to do that.
He's going to average at least like 25 and 10. With maybe like 8 rebounds. And probably a game winner or two. Playoffs are going to be good this year. I hope playoffs are good this year.
Yeah. That's it, though.
I think that does wrap it up.
That does wrap it up for today.
That wraps it up for
That was
episode...
a fast-ass 48 minutes, even though this video is only going to be like 35 because I stuttered like 80 times.
No, it's going to be 48 because I'm putting every single stutter into that.
That's going to wrap it up for
That
today,
is going to wrap
guys.
it up.
We got kind of... No, we'll have a few days of NBA. Maybe some baseball to talk about in our next episode.
Spring training is just coming up, but season starts in what, 2 weeks?
April 1st.
Season starts in 2 weeks, so
That's when the real deal starts.
in about 4 episodes, you can expect some
baseball.
baseball content.
Yeah. And football is just off-season.
Off
so
season.
that's it. We'll see.
Make sure you like,
make sure you
subscribe,
all that
share.
good stuff.
Leave a comment too.
Yeah, leave a comment to.
I wanna see
your
some
contenders
comments.
and pretenders.
I wanna
You
see
might
some
not make it
comments.
that far in the video, but if you have contenders and pretenders, let us know.
If you've made it this far in the video, like the video because if you've watched this much of the video, you've enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
If you've watched about 40 minutes of this, you're having a decent time. Well, I guess that'll be it. We'll see you guys on
Thursday.
Thursday. We'll see you guys on Thursday.
good, everybody? All Ball Podcast here. What's good, everybody? All Ball Podcast here. What's good, everybody? All Ball Podcast here. What's good, everybody? All Ball Podcast here. I'm Josh and this is Connor. Today we're gonna. What's good, everybody? All Ball Podcast here. What's good, everybody? All Ball Podcast here. I'm Josh and this is Connor. What's good, everybody? All Ball Podcast. What's good, everybody? All Ball Podcast here. What's good, everybody? All Ball Podcast here. I'm Josh and this is Connor. Today we're gonna be going over the 2020 NBA All-Star. 2020.
Oh my god!
Don't look at me, bro. I'm gonna get nervous.
There you go.